Wait a second. There we go. Ape Out. Welcome. So far, 0 viewers. You're welcome nonetheless.
It says says here we've got 2.
Oh,
granted, I'm probably one of them, but
I'll take 2. 2 is enough to begin. Ape Out. And
there we
go.
Hello.
Glorious. And we are supposed to have another co-commentator show up. Hopefully that'll happen soon.
Eventually.
Audio balance is hopefully coming through all right on the stream. Didn't have many opportunities to test that out.
Yeah, I've got the stream muted for obvious reasons.
Yep, of course. But here we are. We are merely an ape within a cage. What are we to do?
Yeah,
what would
looks
you
like
do
it's
in this
coming through
situation?
fine on the stream.
Okay, very good. So, we are encouraged to use the left stick and the right trigger.
Left stick doesn't seem to be doing much. Oh,
Right, trigger's a little more effective. This guy's unarmed. But look what you've done. You look at the mess you've made, young man.
Yeah, you sit there and think about what you've done.
Think about it in the cage yourself. So this is like Hotline Miami, but without all the whole character being a domestic terrorist.
Visual style kind of reminds me of this sort of sci-fi crafting RPG. Came out in the PC about 5 years ago. It was vaguely popular. Cannot remember what the name of it was, though. It's something to do with teleportation.
Yeah, it sounds like the sort of thing that would be pretty popular.
Yeah. That's it. Twofer.
Yep, we could get the shotgun guys to claim multiple victims if we grab them and aim them. For some reason, the natural instinct of all these people, when grabbed by an ape, is to fire their gun in the direction they're being held.
That seems a little counterproductive.
Yep.
Maybe it's just me, I don't know.
They failed their getting held hostage by an ape training.
Man, that's like day 1.
Yeah, you would think. A job like this. There they go. Thank you. Technically, the most efficient way to play this game is to never grab anybody. But what fun is that?
Yeah.
Squeeze him right into a corner. And many of the people are visibly wearing bombs and throwing bombs. They are to be avoided. We are pretty close to the exit there, though, we can see from the overhead map. Gotta avoid the suicide bombers.
Is there much or anything in the way of collectibles or anything? Or is it simply get to the exit?
I believe there are no collectibles. Just get where you're going. Get that ape out. The title says it all.
See what you did there.
Throw bombs at one another. Yeah, don't blow up guys who are standing right next to you.
That end section is really quite involved.
Oh yeah. And this is the first set of levels. It's going to get so much more hectic from here. Something I learned recently from watching a speedrun of this game, actually, is that the levels and the enemy placement are randomized. I only played through the game casually one time, So, I didn't even realize that. I got one random configuration and I just played through the whole game on that. Seed. But it turns out that was only one of practically infinite possibilities that I could have experienced.
It's like the Binding of Isaac, but with less poop and crying. More
Maybe we'll
monkeys.
unlock a poop throwing power-up later on.
Oh, good. Shoot as a weapon, aim for the eyes.
I mean, all the enemies have guns, so that would at least render them harmless temporarily. Oh, no, you don't. You're not
You
prepared
get back here, asshole.
for the ape. Oh. Still getting used to the bomb, guys.
I'll say this much, taking hostages is way more useful than it was in Hotline Miami.
Yep, that's for sure.
Most people didn't even know you could do it.
Yeah, it was practically a glitch in Hotline Miami.
Hmm.
Like, you would almost never do it intentionally.
Yeah.
Okay, gotta be... Oh,
Ah.
strategic. So you have 3 HP, basically.
Ah,
Three hits
okay.
you
I thought it was
take.
just one-hit kills.
Yeah. It is for the enemies, but not for us, because we are an ape. Don't take human bombs hostage. That can only end poorly. There we go. We are through the deadly hallway. Bomb guys obviously are one-hit kills, which is why they are so much more dangerous than everybody else. Yeah, taking people hostage in Hotline Miami is like, you have to have a specific type of gun and do like a specific series of animations on a downed enemy who isn't dead yet. It's ridiculous.
And most of the time you just wind up slitting their throat.
Yep. And of course, if you're taking them hostage, it's because you're trying to avoid gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
Which means either the hostage is going to get shot in 2 seconds, or you are.
And with some of the later stages, especially in the second one, by the time you realise that your guy was dead, so were you.
Yep. Yeah. And enemy behavior didn't change if you had taken a hostage, so they're still going to do exactly the same thing, which is generally shoot a machine gun and shoot the hostage and you in the same motion.
Oh, it's all gone a bit Queens of the Stone Age now.
That's for sure. Very stylized game. I should do a lot
kinda
more
reminds me-
avoiding of enemies.
Yeah. Also kind of reminds me of Wet on the PS, on the 360, if you ever played that.
I'm familiar with it. I never actually played it, though.
Very cool game, very underrated, but it had a sort of rage mechanic where every so often your character would get blood splashed in her face, and it would just have her go completely ballistic, and everything would go stylized red and black and white.
Nice. Yeah, that's on my list of games to maybe try out someday.
I recommend it. The soundtrack is fantastic. It's 20 or 30 odd rockabilly bands, and
Nice.
a couple of glam metal as well.
That's a combo.
Well, there's a band in it called the Gypsy Pistoleros, who have a very un-PC name.
That's for sure.
But they're more kind of Motley Crue than actual rockabilly.
Interesting. Yeah, I try to avoid games that have licensed soundtracks, because unfortunately, when you make content, that fucks the whole thing up.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the game is presented as an album. A series of albums, in fact. We are on side B.
Yeah, because going to say, if it's only going to be 8 stages, this is going to be a really short game.
Yep. And I mean, that is the case, but it is Hotline Miami rules. You lose progress frequently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for years, indie game has pretty much been synonymous with very short.
Yeah, there is that. There's certainly exceptions.
Oh, absolutely. But by and large, you can have a long game or you can have an indie game.
I do like the pace of indie games. They get right to the point.
Yeah.
State they're welcome. Enemies can't seem to find me. Which makes life
Now
easy.
it's looking like a German expressionist cartoon.
Worker and Parasite.
The hell was that?
Yeah, this game is all style. It's got the papercraft visual aesthetic.
Yeah.
Totally surrounded.
I was gonna say, I take it this is your stealth section then?
Something like that. Because the enemies have flashlights. And they will, I believe, fire faster here in the darkness. It's easier to spot them, because they're a big white cone.
If you mean from Kaboom Dragoon to Static, basically with Fiendly we stopped posting stuff as much or at all on Something Awful. And this is a name that I use pretty much everywhere else.
Yep.
So this is quote-unquote my real name.
Yeah, he was
At least
Static
as far as the
first.
internet's concerned. Yep, have been since like, what, 2000? Just been using it so long, you know, anything else just seems weird. We remember meeting some people offline, and one of them, we're just, because my friend Cody, he always knew me as Static, and he introduced me to a load of other people with that name. And at one point, we're just a bunch of us, I think it was one of his birthday parties. A friend of his, so just all sitting around chatting, and one of his friends turns to me and she says, "So, do you have a real name?" And I just gave her a look so blank you'd swear my face had been sanded right off my skull. And she's like, I mean, like, it's not, you know, like a real name. Like, you've got to... And she, you can just see the certainty draining out of her face. And I just blink and go right back to what I was talking about. And my friend Cody was just like, "God damn it, you ruin everything." To her. And she was like, I didn't realise it was some kind of horrible personal thing.
I don't want to know the kind of person who isn't totally used to hanging out with people whose names are total nonsense that you've never heard used as a name before.
Shall we say non-traditional?
Exactly. Normalize that shit.
Like, this is my friend Pete, this is my friend Steve, and this is my friend Zarbulon the Terrible. Watch out for Pete, he's a bit of a weirdo.
Uh-oh. Totally surrounded. Okay, we're getting there. I don't know if I've taken one hit or two yet.
I think 2.
Yeah, I honestly think it was 3, but I'm still walking, so... Now it doesn't matter.
Yay!
Total reset. Ding ding.
Banana phone! Someone had to say it.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anyone who would appreciate that joke, it is Ape Out the Ape.
It is Monkey.
You can tell whether or not you've been hit at all because you will leave a trail of very colorful blood.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So right now we are uninjured. Everyone bleeds bioluminescent in this game.
Oh man, it's turned into that one scene from Cabin in the Woods now. Everything just pouring out of the elevators.
Yep.
Blood everywhere.
It's almost like the scene from The Shining, but there's still flesh around the blood. A little bit of flesh for the time being. Not enough to slow me down.
So are there any bosses or special enemies other than the Exploder dudes?
Oh, there are many different types of enemies. There are no, like, I don't think any, like, unique types of enemies. Basically, every type of enemy can be grabbed and one-hit killed as necessary. But there are many variations on the one type of enemy.
Also, you were super close to that explosion there.
Yep.
You should not have survived.
A lot of close calls. Again.
Yeah! Monkey is strong.
That was also a really close one there. Heard that guy cock his gun. He was just about to shoot me. I'm definitely on 2 hits. I'm pouring blood all over the place.
Yeah.
Don't think that was a checkpoint.
Nah.
Splatter them all real quick. Oh, he got me in the back of the head.
Ah!
So close. This has got to be the end.
That is a long way.
Oh, yeah.
I take it there's no point to hunting every enemy down?
Nah, not really. I don't think there's even an achievement for ever doing that. There is an achievement for clearing an entire album without killing anybody. Which, I don't know how you would do that. Be very luck-based.
Yeah.
Because of the RNG placement of all the enemies. Ah. Couldn't quite grab him. Just spun around right in his face.
It looks like some areas are fixed, like the long hallways.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very much so. They're sort of like Lego levels.
Yeah. No, it's pretty much the way they do roguelikes these days.
Mm-hmm.
Just the stages are made up of segments.
Yeah, truly randomizing it would make for a usually unplayable game.
Yeah. I remember, I can't remember what it was, but there was an old game on the Atari ST, of all places, where all the stages, or all the areas were randomized, but they tried to initially do it so that everything was randomized, which would result in things like the key to a door spawning on the opposite side of the door, so you couldn't get through. So they said that the way they got around that was by, rather than telling the engine what it could do, tell it what it can't do.
Mm-hmm.
So if it spawns door A, the key to it needs to be in the area before door A.
Yeah, that's how people are starting to build randomizers out of existing games these days.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time being perhaps the most popular.
Ocarina of Time and Super Metroid, from what I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
Or A Link to the Past, for that matter. Or both.
Yeah,
Seeing as how they've managed to meld those into some unholy mess.
Yeah, that's Link to the Past and Super Metroid, I think.
Yeah.
They become one due to modders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a someone created a randomizer for Nocturne, which kind of interested in, but it takes me long enough to get through that game normally.
Yeah, no kidding.
But the thing is, all the enemies are essentially scaled to every area. So even if you're coming across enemies from the final areas, they're still supposed to be easy enough to take out, but some of the enemies in the later areas have really weird resistances. So you're expected to be capable of dealing with them in one way or another, which isn't always the case. They might have fixed it since, but the original patch for it was just weird.
Yeah, you don't want to get all the way to Matador and realize you're on a bad seed.
Yep.
My original run of Nocturne, I was playing it on normal difficulty, and I played all the way up to the Matador fight, and I got stuck like everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
My solution was to reset the entire game on hard difficulty, which made me good enough at normal combat that by the time I got to Matador again, I was basically a master of the game. I was able to
very
overcome
sneaky
the fight.
Soderbergh.
Yeah. And then I just carried on with the rest of the game on hard difficulty.
Yeah. See, the main problem with hard difficulty is it completely tanks your chance to run. Unless you're using a special item like a smoke bomb, you cannot run, or you've got like a 3% chance or something ridiculous. Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne.
Yeah, that's the one.
And all the shop prices are tripled. And I think the to re-summon demons, which you had from the encyclopedia, is doubled as well. In terms of actual fights, it's more difficult and the enemies are more likely to go for weaknesses. But that can be mitigated. So the real difficulty comes from the fact that you need to grind for everything if you're planning on buying anything.
Ah, wild. No wonder I ended up using those mechanics.
Yeah. Once you actually start delving into the actual behind-the-scenes stuff, it's nuts. Also, Monkey is free.
Yep. 1 ape out. 17
Only 17 deaths.
Yeah. So I was saying it like it was a catastrophe, and you were saying it like it was pretty impressive. On to album 2.
Looking a bit Black Flag.
Yeah. It's clearly the inspiration for that album cover, yeah. First person mode. So for some reason, it took us to the top floor of a skyscraper. They will regret
so
this.
Naturally, everyone needs to go out the window.
Yep. You can hear them screaming on their way down. Always a delight. This game is so satisfying, like perhaps even more satisfying than Hotline Miami. Because you only have like one option available to you. Grab and throw.
That's never going to get old, is it?
It certainly is not. Not in my experience with this game. Excuse me.
Squelch. So I take it this is a different ape that we're playing.
It's up to your headcanon. Maybe we just got the least lucky ape in history.
In the rich mythology of monkey shenanigans.
That's another thing I like about this game. Literally no plot whatsoever. Whatever you think is happening is happening.
Well, I remember people used to say that about Five Nights at Freddy's, and 300 game theory videos later.
Oh yeah. Machine gunners, they're a bit of a problem.
Literally sending a SWAT team after you.
That's effective. What it takes to bring down these modern-day monkeys.
These monkeys with their hoity-toity gorilla arms coming into our buildings and our offices. Throwing people out the windows, I don't know.
Get a job, gorilla.
Bananas aren't free.
Oh, out I go myself. It's one way to get to street level.
A bit more direct than you were intending.
That is for sure. Tried to fake them out. They got 2 SWAT teams on me. There's the guys with the green hair, the little guys. They will run away from you until they are cornered. They will spin around and take a pot shot.
I hate those kind of enemies.
Yep. They seem to fire a lot faster than the other enemies, too. 'Cause they got an automatic pistol instead of a rifle. One more level down.
Also, there are a lot of people in this office complex with machine guns and so forth. It's a bit worrying.
Stuck on a table. The greatest foe. A sandwich between snipers.
Just like Che Guevara.
Probably.
I don't know, my knowledge of history is a little suspect, so I might be wrong on that one.
Oh, if I had had just the slightest step further, I would have gotten one more floor lower and then probably shot down the next area. Snipers apparently take preposterously long times to aim, so we probably won't have to worry too much about them.
Yeah, it seems more like the annoying little green guys and the SWAT guys that are your main problems here.
For sure.
Not that level, obviously.
Yep. This might be the level to go for if you're trying to get the Kill Nobody for an entire album achievement.
Yeah.
Just the way the environments work out seem to be good for avoiding things. Serpentine.
Duck and weave, duck and weave.
We got a glass bridge.
I hate those kind of places in real life. I always feel like I'm going to fall off.
Yeah, they are kind of creepy.
I had a friend that used to, in order to get to the shop just across the road, quite a busy road, so you needed to go over this pedestrian walkway. And every time I went over, I always felt like the slightest breeze, and I always felt like I was just going to topple over.
It's creepy to look up at them.
Don't have much in the way of phobias, but that's one.
Yeah, that's just a weird structure. Doesn't seem necessary, really. That was lucky.
Wow.
Dodging bullets.
I'm saying, when you're a big enough monkey, you won't have to.
Green guy again.
I think that was the same one, you just helped him into the next room.
Yeah, I did, actually. Escort him out of the building. Okay, I guess the exit's back this way again. Because I killed everybody in the construction area. They added bomb guys to the mix. That's what got me last time.
The snipers have decided to take to the building.
Yep. Uh-oh.
This is kind of reminding me of the construction yard levels from The Punisher, of all things.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. If I hadn't gotten boxed in there, I would have found the exit, but I took a wrong turn. Ended up caged in again. But yeah, the under construction half of the building is very much like that Punisher level. But no one remembers the Punisher video game, except you and I.
Almost like we've got a reason to remember it.
That's for sure. It's called trauma.
Come on, it's far from the worst game that we've done.
That's for sure.
It's actually, I'm planning on saving up for a PS5. I was checking to see if I had any games I could sell off to help speed the process up. Surprisingly, Blood Will Tell goes for a big amount.
Yeah, I know it was usually 35 or so for like just any vaguely working copy back when I did the LP.
According to a couple of places I've seen, the average price for it these days is about 80.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
Surprised the hell out of me.
It was not produced in very high quantities.
No. But it's weird because I've got a few other games like Bajingai, which I think sold about 22 copies, and that's still only about 30.
Yeah, it's always
people
weird. What clicks?
Guess people just haven't heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
At least recently.
Hyper.
Yeah, there's a lot of defenestration in this stage.
That's for sure. Yeah, Bujingai is the one that's from the same developers as Blood Will Tell, right?
Sorry?
Bujingai, that's the one that's by the same developers as Blood Will Tell?
Might be, I'm not sure. It's the sort of pseudo Devil May Cry game with Gact as the main character.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's very showy, but about as shallow as a puddle.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's more about maintaining a chain rather than anything. I mean, if that's the kind of game that you're interested in, great. But I just found it really, really shallow.
Yeah, there was a lot of that after Devil May Cry came out.
Yeah.
Well, not realizing the brilliance of Hideki Kamiya.
Yeah. Games where it's like, no, kids like building up combos. And no. That's how you get games like Killer Instinct.
Yep. What they secretly wanted was more Dynasty Warriors.
I like Dynasty Warriors. They're fun podcast games, but I get people that just see them as incredibly. Like, I mean, the joke was for years. It's a series in which you mash one button, then you hit the other button, and then you complete the stage. And I'm not going to lie, that's exactly what happens.
Yep.
But they're really fun for just zoning out and listening to podcasts or reading or whatever.
They are almost idle games.
Pretty much, yeah.
And there's definitely room for those. Threw a dynamite guy into a little scrawny guy. Blowing up on impacts.
I had that work out for you.
Didn't go well.
Are they throwing proximity bombs now?
Yeah, they look like, those like comedy dynamite bombs from Acme cartoons. Warner Brothers cartoons.
Looney Tunes.
Exactly. Oh, no, you don't.
Okay, it was kind of cool the way that the laser sight just went spinning.
Like I didn't follow the blood trail. Checked where I was rather than where I was going to be. And throw some snipers into each other before we depart.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah. I did take one hit there. But I was completely surrounded, so could have been worse.
I'm glad you realized it was a bomb guy at the last second.
What have we here? Says that's the exit. Do I need to kidnap a bomb guy? Throw him through the wall. Let's try this guy first.
Seems very convoluted for a game like this.
Yeah, that would almost be a puzzle.
Yeah.
I don't come here for puzzles. Let's take another sweep of the area.
Is there anyone left alive?
It does appear everyone's dead.
Oh, is that a bridge? Head up.
It is a bridge. Good call.
Hey!
I knew this wasn't a puzzle game. We're into the single-digit floors here. But I've taken a lot of damage. An exit. Probably just one more level until we get to the bottom?
Yeah.
One or two.
Each one seems to be about 4 or 5 floors so far.
Yeah, that math works out.
So maybe 2.
Yeah. That would make sense. 8 levels for a album. Or at least the side of an album. I think we're still on side A of this album.
No, we made it to side B.
Okay. So that would make sense. More people were repelling
What do you
in.
think this is, Guns N' Roses?
Well, I was trying to use my illusion that it might be.
Sure is a lot of... Oh, okay,
What the hell was
that's
that?
cheating. That's not fair.
Got the one guy with a jetpack working in this office building.
Clearly that's the one Looney Tunes guy, because he didn't fall because he didn't look down.
Yep.
Okay, apparently you threw a cat out the window there.
Let's go see if any of them survived. Meet them down there. I saw ya. That was not a good line to take.
Nope.
This is floor 1.
So then you go to the mezzanine, and then you go to the Starbucks, and then you go to the basement where you hotwire a car.
You might be right, actually.
Yeah, I was joking about the basement, but...
This stairwell is already covered with blood before we even got here.
Are you being shadowed by another monkey?
Maybe. You're not the only one aping out. I mean, this is an office job. Oh,
See, when I saw
almost got him.
that pink guy, I was like, okay, is he like a target you have to kill?
Yeah, we got to the area where there are civilians. We're gonna smash them anyway. Because that's one of the things I like about this game is that we are relatively justified because we're just a wild animal.
Mm.
Can't blame a wild animal for doing wild animal things.
Can't put a monkey in a cage and then get pissed off when it says, I don't want to be in the cage anymore.
Precisely. Oh, I tried to throw a guy into one of the animes, but it didn't work. Okay. Shoot all your friends. Now stop shooting. I'm done with you.
Wow, that guy had a mag and a half in that clip.
Locking out for the day.
Yeah, time to do this tomorrow.
Another one down. There are actually only 4 discs, so we're like halfway through. Surprisingly.
I wonder if that's meant to be Fugazi.
Would make sense if they called the album Fugue. Could be the reference. This is the military-themed one.
Are they giving us a firing squad? Dereliction of Ape Duty.
Yeah, why did they kidnap an ape in the military? Are they trying to figure out the military applications of being a monkey?
I mean, let's be honest, it wouldn't be the weirdest animal testing the governments have done over the years.
That's for sure. He got me, but he's not going to claim his promotion.
These stages are turning into a real rat's nest now.
Yep. We are surrounded by an entire military force.
The CIA had it coming.
Almost always true.
See if you can find G. Gordon Liddy and Henry Kissinger.
The latter especially.
Yeah. My personal headcanon for this part is some super soldier experiment on grey apes. Funnily enough, animal testing was part of the super soldier program.
I believe it.
In Marvel Comics, so might be closer than you think.
That guy's on fire, so I feel like he's done
There
for.
was a guy on fire.
That is so many guys. New variety of machine gunners. Wasn't ready for him.
On the one hand, it's nice that they're all clustered up together. On the other, it means that even the guys with, like, even the single shot guys might as well be firing shotguns. Mm-hmm. So many of them.
These are some narrow hallways they got me working with.
Mm-hmm. Plus, because of the camera angle, if you see one, that means there's like 5 guys to the left.
Yep. Oh, you only killed my human shield. The guy's shooting at me. Yeah, get them all!
Mow them down!
Hey, you're staying on my team. Oh, he exploded. The extreme simplicity of the gameplay here makes you feel like you're really doing something impressive when you have, like, just the basic understanding of the controls. Because you have to, like, grab a guy, spin around, have him shoot the next guy, and then grab the next guy, and you're doing, like, 10 things all in a row.
Yeah.
They're all fairly precise, but they're so simple that anyone could do it.
I mean, we've all seen, you know, people do speedruns of, like, the original Mario. Mm-hmm. Just 2 buttons, and you see people getting through those games really quickly, but with a flair almost.
Yeah.
Like, the button presses are so precise, you can't help but be impressed.
Yeah, but that's a case where simplicity requires actual tremendous amounts of competence, and this game gives you the illusion of that same effect. Because I'm not good at this game, but I'm still spinning around corners and grabbing guys and doing everything just right.
Okay, skill is skill.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fell myself short.
Yep, never do that.
This game's making a monkey out of me.
Ah!
Turn that guy into a firebomb. I wonder if you could set other people on fire with
I was
the guys
just
who got
wondering
grabbed.
that.
I bet you can.
Wouldn't surprise me.
There's a fun way to make people suffer in this game. They went out of their way to make it happen.
Kind of like when you start playing around with Molotovs in The Last of Us.
I assume that's one of your actual cats on co-commentary?
Nope. No cats in here. They must all be in the bedroom.
Weird. Yeah, our splattering corpses are making very cat-like noises.
Yeah.
By coincidence. Didn't realize that was part of boot camp.
Alright, maggots, today you will be making the noise of a feline! But no one knows if he's actually being serious and they're too scared to ask him.
Yep.
Charlie Emery praising everyone for being fluffy and having a nice warm soft tum-tum. Why didn't we get that movie, Stanley Kubrick?
Seriously.
Get your shit together, man.
Ermi showed up in those awful Texas Chainsaw Massacre remakes.
Oh,
He would have jumped at the
yeah.
opportunity to call people snuggly wuggly kitties.
Are you a heckin' good pupperino? Show me your soft boy face! Cuter!
I don't know, but I've been told. Skinny toe beans are great when you're cold.
Sound of meow meow. I don't know if I am cute, but your nose I wanna boop.
I feel like adorable Harley Ermi is a rich well.
Harley Emery with cat ears. that is either the most that's either the most wonderful or most cursed image I have ever come up with.
Yeah, no kidding. Too many shotguns.
And flamethrowers.
Yeah. Can certainly set other people on fire with the flamethrower guys, though.
Yep.
That's amusing.
Oof.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of chaos out here.
That's getting a bit clusterfucky.
Yep. Just gotta keep hammering through it. Respawning is one of our greatest powers.
All gorillas have the power of save spawn.
I played this other Hotline Miami-like game called Katana Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good game, but I was playing it for like an hour, and I'd only been interrupted by like one or two cutscenes, And I was like, hey, they recognize one of the huge problems with Hotline Miami, which is all the incredibly long, overwrought cutscenes that are super unsatisfying and don't really pay off.
Mm.
And then, like, the whole rest of the game was these incredibly long, overwrought cutscenes. Like, half of that game is cutscenes, ultimately.
Yeah, I have not played much of it myself, but I know that the second half goes gung-ho on the story.
Yep. And you have to, like, pay attention to the story to choose correct choices so that you can actually progress further in the game. Because if you make the wrong choices, you get the bad ending, and then you don't get to play half the game. But the whole purpose of the story is to explain why your character respawns when you die. That's it. There's just an in-character reason for that.
Yeah, isn't it something like he's hooked up to a drug that lets him see potential futures or something?
Yeah, exactly. It's very much the super soldier thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting concept, but it's one of those things that doesn't really need to be explained.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Like, the Surge, Dark Souls clone. It's, like, it is a Dark Souls game in pretty much every way. You know, you die, you respawn, when you rest at a save point, all the enemies respawn. But it does, like, as far as the story goes, your character never... Whoa!
They're dropping bombs on me.
I thought it was like a snake or something that popped out of the ground.
It certainly caught me off guard. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as far as the story goes, your character never dies. Unlike in Dark Souls, where dying is part of the actual storyline. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, your character gets the shit kicked out of them regularly, but no one ever really comments on it other than saying, you look like you've had a hard time. And I'm fine with that. You don't need to explain every single part of the lore.
Yeah, totally. Let game mechanics be game mechanics. These guys want to die themselves as much as they want me to die. Yep.
Saw that coming.
Dropped a bomb right on me.
Blast radius is pretty generous as well.
Yeah, this section, they're like willing to take out their own entire army at this point. Get this ape and its secrets from reaching the public.
Top secret military chimpanzees.
Yep. Even dropped a bomb outside of the fence there. With a blast radius that would still reach us. Oh, and the shotgunner got me. Of all things at that point.
It's like McGilly Gorilla if it was done by Tarantino.
It's the censored scene in Kill Bill. Wow.
I just did not give you a chance with that one.
Yep. I'll just stay indoors this whole level. Oh, and it leaves a pool of fire behind, too.
Yeah, now they're actually leading the target.
Flamethrowers do not do that, though. So you can't just run past them. Radius will never catch up to you. Uh-oh.
Oh, this could be bad.
Ah.
Ah!
Slightly more steep angle would have got me around him.
Yeah. I actually thought you were at the end of the level there.
It was pretty close. Closer than I've been yet. Already taken 2 hits right at the very beginning. There's so many guys. So I think the strat is to hug one of the fences.
Yeah.
And then we'll at least be protected on one side. It'll be a longer route through the level, but it must be done.
Yeah, try and make for the buildings every chance you get.
Yep. Skirted the outside of the explosion radius, and they cornered me. That appears to be the thing with the nukes, is they can corner you.
Well, so that last one there fell really quickly.
Yeah.
Seems like if they spawn outside the level, then they can't hit you.
Perhaps. I've not done enough testing.
It looked like there was one on the other side of the fence, but the explosion didn't go past it.
Aw. I was apparently right near the end there. This is a short enough level. But quite difficult.
At least the stages don't overstay their welcome.
That's for sure.
Hotline Miami 2, towards the end, had some stages that just would not end.
Yep. Absolutely ridiculous things.
Yeah. Really enjoyed the first one, enjoyed the first half of the second, and yeah, there's a reason why I've not been back to it since.
Yeah, I mentioned the specific level that I hated the most in Hotline Miami 2 last time we talked about it, which was the one where he plays the detective on the ship.
Ah, see, for me, it was when you storm the drug lord's mansion.
Mm-hmm. As the fans.
I think so. Can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think that's
yeah, I think it was, because you see all that from the drug lord's point of view, and he sees them as all monsters and that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking of the same one.
Yeah, there's just too many open areas that are so easy to get shot from off screen by. Like, yeah, no joke, I think my first time playing it, I think I spent like 3 hours on it.
Oh, you made it. Yeah, that level you're talking about is notorious.
Yeah, it's just not fun.
Oh, they bombed their own military base so much that the entire thing exploded, and we are the only survivor. Nice work. Yeah, I've described Hotline Miami 2 as a Kaizo hack of Hotline Miami 1.
Yep. It's more Hotline Miami for people who were too good at the original.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was supposed to be the final chapter of Hotline Miami, and indeed it was.
Yeah.
So I guess they wanted it to be like a tremendous amount of content, and the only way to do that is to make it basically last forever because it's unbeatable.
Yeah.
Oh,
no one can complain about right in the butt.
Yep. They got me.
Because if you never finish a game, technically speaking, that means it lasts into infinity.
Yep. I do believe that was their meta plan. Or how to make the Hotline Miami series last forever.
Yep. Great soundtrack.
Yep.
But that's about the only thing I can say I actually really enjoyed about it. There was one stage, one of the Vietnam stages, or possibly Florida, I forget, which started off ripping off some of the music from Silent Hill 2. Freaked me the hell out when I heard that, because I was like, hang on a minute, something not quite right here.
Yeah, Hawaii is the military level
Hawaii,
in that game. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, the music is fantastic in your Hotline Miamis.
Yep.
And did you see, speaking of the music from Silent Hill, what Akira Yamaoka is working on right now, soundtrack-wise?
No.
There's a game called Slitterhead.
Oh, yes, that.
Yeah, super awkward name.
Yeah. Sounds like it should be vaguely dirty.
Yep, it definitely sounds gross. Also, it sounds like
Barely even seen her
Splitterhead.
head.
It sounds like you're saying like Splitterhead or...
Yeah. It's probably one of those things that sounds really cool in Japanese.
Yep, I'm almost certain that's the case. But that's bringing Yamaoka out of retirement from doing horror game soundtracks.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen the stills in that, and it looks interesting. It looks like they're going for the super weird body horror thing, which I fucking can just inject it into my veins.
Absolutely. And do you know who the creative team on it is? It's,
I do.
Yeah.
God, I remember it's a couple of folks that are like really, like survival horror royalty. Isn't one of the Clock Tower devs involved?
Maybe. But the ones I'm thinking of are Toyama and Sato, who are...
from Silent Hill and Siren.
Precisely, yeah. That is the creative leads of the Siren series, all 3 Siren games.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yep. And Toyama is the writer and director of the first Silent Hill, so creator of the Silent Hill series.
Yep. Hopefully they don't have too much in the way of corporate oversight and they just let them do whatever kind of insane shit they want.
So corporate oversight is Toyama. He started a new studio which he owns, and that is what is making Slitterhead.
Okay, so I'm very excited for it now then.
Yep. Sony, like, it's not even licensed to Sony right now. It's going to be multi-platform when it comes out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing to look out for.
Because I remember, well, obviously I've been watching your playthrough of Blood Curse up on YouTube now. Check it out. But I've also been, I've also been rewatching Super Great Friends playthroughs of Siren 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And the first game I'm fairly familiar with. The second one I never really got into as much for some reason. I think it's
You're
probably
one of the few people
because
who was able to play it.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is because they used, like the first game, they used all English voice actors, British voice actors.
Yep.
But they asked them to do Asian accents, and it all comes across as very, very racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say their accents are strange in that game. That was being generous.
Yeah, it just sounds like someone doing a. It sounds like you can hear them doing the eye thing in the recording booth. It's that bad.
They got a lot of complaints after the first game that, like, why are these people in small Japanese obscure villages speaking in British accents? So they overcompensated the worst way.
Yeah, well, the thing is that quite a few of the voice actors for the first game, like if you ever, well, obviously a bit difficult for you and anyone in the States, but a lot of them are very familiar from British TV ads.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the one who plays what's the name of the old guy again with the shotgun, the hunter.
In the first Siren,
Yeah,
that is Akira, I believe is his name.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
His voice actor is well known for doing a lot of adverts going back to the 80s. So for me, anytime I hear him speak, I can't help but think, like, okay, is he going to sell me on, Hanuda noodles? Like, what we doing here? What are we doing? And quite a lot of the other cast said that they all do adverts. Same thing with the Dragon Quest games, since they're all being done in Britain. So it really oddly takes me out of the game.
Yeah, it's weird how like famous so much of the cast of Siren is for how obscure that game is.
Yep.
Like the second game, they don't really talk about it anymore in Japan because one of the actors is like a big movie star, but he got busted for cocaine possession.
Oh, is that the one that was in Judgment?
Probably. It was a huge scandal because you don't do cocaine in Japan.
Yeah.
Your career's over if you get caught.
You can get caught with illegal pornography, but you do one line and it's your ass.
Yep. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, as long as they don't source it out to the BBC to do their voice acting for Slitterheads, I'm going to be more than happy.
Yep. And that one should have, like, you know, a more professional, I want to say, although we're just talking about how professional the dub is of the old games. But it should be even more so, because it's a pretty big deal, and Toyama at this point knows he has a pretty sizable American audience.
Yeah. I mean, I played some of Ghostwire, which I thought was basically going to be like, well, like a cross between Siren and The Evil Within, because it started off as The Evil Within 3. And no matter what I do, I cannot get the image looking sharp because it uses a kind of dynamic resolution scaling. Really annoying. Kind of similar to what's happened with Stranger in Paradise, but it doesn't look as bad because it can actually see what's happening on screen.
Yeah.
That game is basically unplayable right now. But yeah, it's what I was really hoping for was a more small, contained, basically more like the Evil Within 1. Like the second one, but the first one's really the better one.
Yeah, I would strongly agree with that sentiment.
It has some really great set pieces and imagery. There's a scene where you need to... Basically, you've got a countdown timer to the apartment block that you're in before it all gets crushed to shit by supernatural forces. So you have to go through and destroy all these talismans that are scattered all over the place. There's a couple of bits where you'll start walking through a house, and then you'll open a door, and it'll be the room that you've just been in, except everything's been rotated 180 degrees and is glitching the fuck out. Looks really cool. But those are very far and few between. The rest of it is, like, finding the spirits of people who are in the city who were kidnapped by demons, or finding Tanuki, which is always cute.
Yeah, that's not what I would expect to hear from what I assumed was a horror game up to this point.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really do horror. The enemy designs are creepy. There's these... Do you remember the gentleman from Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I do not.
Imagine the Slender Man with teeth. Big toothy grin.
I can see that right now. Creepy.
Basic enemies that you encounter are like that, or there'll be demonic schoolgirls in the sailor suit, but with no heads. Some of the enemies are genuinely unsettling, but it's not really a horror game. At least not in the way that we would consider a horror game.
Interesting. And that's actually how they're selling Slitterhead right now as well. Is that it is not actually a horror game, it just has really, really creepy monster design. Yeah.
I mean, my dream has always been like a body horror RPG. Like the original BioShock was supposed to have a mechanic where you could mutate yourself to gain more survivability, or you could have a harder time of things but retain your humanity. And I thought, okay, well maybe some of the stuff that they were talking about with Ghostwire suggested that was what we were going to get. None of that.
Yeah.
Starts off with you being possessed, like basically the character dies and is possessed by a supernatural cop, for lack of a better term.
R.I.P.D.
Basically. And yeah, it kind of goes from there. It's, as I said, there's some very creepy moments, but I would strongly hesitate to call it a horror game.
Yeah, that's what you sort of get with survival horror at this point.
Yeah.
The whole genre kind of died in the Xbox 360 era.
Basically.
People tried to keep it going, but it was a real nightmare.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But, you know, well, at least we have Konami selling Silent Hill skateboards. Yeah.
And they did promise a new Silent Hill game made by Bloober Team.
Oh, Jesus, I cannot think of any group less suited to doing that.
No kidding.
Like, Observer had some very cool visuals and some very good cutscenes. Like the bits where you actually jack into someone's head and you go through their memories and they're all messed up, and, you know, fantastic imagery there. That's not a game, that's literally... That is a walking simulator. You're walking from point A to point B through someone's memories. It looks fantastic, but there's no gameplay. And after the medium...
Claim to flame is, the medium.
Yeah, which is frankly insulting to anyone who has ever dealt with depression or mental illness in any way, shape, or form.
Pretty much anything they discuss in that game, it is a horrible representation of that thing.
Yeah, and it has, like, one of my pet hates in movies is the fade to black gunshot.
Ugh.
Exactly. It resolves nothing, it leaves it open-ended in a way that's completely unsatisfying, and it's lazy. And that's how the medium ends. And coupled with the really, really bad message that the game sends, you know, which is basically like anyone with trauma is better off dead.
Yep.
Which subtle, very subtle, guys. Nice to see. You know, you're putting that sensitivity reader to good use.
Yeah, I mean, could you more thoroughly miss the point of what Silent Hill should be about?
Yeah.
Than with that message.
Yeah. But yeah, I cannot think of any group that would be less suited to that. I would sooner have, I don't know, fucking Team Meat doing a Silent Hill game. Yeah, at least then the squishy meat sounds would be put to good use.
I do not seem to have a good layout for this level. Keep going into dead ends.
Yeah.
Making them literal.
Doesn't help that there is a unfeasible amount of flamethrower guys as well.
Yeah. Normally they're very ineffective, but when there's this many, what are you gonna do? It's become a reverse tower defense game.
That would actually be kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah. I say that sometimes about Vampire Survivors, is that it's like a reverse tower defense.
That makes sense.
Especially in the level that's like a horizontal line.
Oh, the library.
Spawn in vertical lines. Yeah, the library.
Yeah, that stage is really easy with the song powered up, since it attacks in vertical lines.
Yep. Honestly, I've always found that level to be pretty easy overall.
Yeah.
Much easier than the huge laid out levels. I don't even know what happened there.
Barbecue?
Yeah, something like that. You can only take 1 damage at a time. And I don't think I was subject to an explosion. But
Yeah, I think it might have been because there was like 2 or 3 flamethrowers there.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been overlapping.
Possibly. Maybe there was a rocket launcher in there somewhere. And I just missed it.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yep. Whoa. Dodge that rocket.
On the plus side, at least the flamethrower guys don't explode when you toss them.
There is that. They do have a small radius where they set a pool of flame when they die, though.
Could be a lot worse.
Yep. It's not a one-hit kill, at the very least. Like that would have been if I had waited half a second longer.
Yeah. I think it also looks like you've got maybe a half-second grace when it comes to getting set on fire.
Yep. You can stand in the flamethrower radius, as long as you don't stay there very long. That should be safe, relatively speaking. Hey! Oh, hit by a car.
Oh! God damn it!
You can never win. Outro. They got us to the zoo after all, because we got hit by that car. Fortunately, they did not prepare for us being zoo-proof.
And then you take off your mask and you were James Sunderland all along. What?
Now we can free the other animals in the zoo.
Free the bear!
Release the tiger.
Yes, yes, the tiger is free.
Oh, but we do have a new enemy type. Guys with tranquilizer darts. They will fuck up your screen if they get you.
Fuck you, children.
Get him, bear.
Oh, did that bear actually kill one of the children?
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, that bear is not fucking around.
Set them all free. Add to the chorus of screams, a cacophony of animals roaring. Oh, I think I killed that bear. Whoops.
Ooh.
Sincere apologies. Uh-oh. Here's disco mode, which is what happens when you get hit by a tranquilizer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the tranquilizer, or is the game just doing that now?
It's always hard to tell with this game, but yeah, that was a trick. I grabbed a guy and then fed him to a bear at one point.
It's the little things.
So Slitterhead is supposed to be out next year, which is exciting. And also I learned that Slowbeef, of all people, is making a game that is heavily inspired by Siren himself. Because he's a semi-professional game developer.
I remember he used to do streams where he was ROM hacking, translating. Well, the last one I remember him doing was Dead of the Brain, which I think was a PC Engine game. Or it might have been the PC 98 version that he did. Of course, he famously did Police Notes.
Oh, yeah. I just watched him stream that with diabetes. The archive of it from like 5 years ago. Get him there. But yeah, he's actually gathered another group of friends. It might be the same group of friends who worked on the Police Knots translation. They are making basically a Siren fan game. It's like a stealth horror game where you can see through the enemy's eyes. to gain stealth information. Getting tracked also slows you down appropriately enough.
Yeah, it sounded like it was affecting the music there as well.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
A bit of an echo or reverb on it.
Oh, hey, there's a snake. Have a snack. Oh, fine. Snake isn't scripted to kill anybody.
We just ate last Wednesday, what do you want?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I got shot in that chaos.
So when you get shot with a tranquilizer dart, does it actually take damage from you, or does it just fuck you up?
It seems like it just fucks you up. For a couple of seconds. That is enough time for the enemies to get some shots on you.
Because I saw that you'd taken a hit, I just couldn't tell if it was before or after.
Yeah, I think I got tranked and then shot. But only the actual shot counted. So many guys. This zoo is heavily armed. Speaking of Punisher levels. But all the animals were dead in that level. Tragically.
Yeah, unfortunately you can't dangle any of these guys into the snake pit.
Yep. I tried.
That would be a different game.
I did try.
You did.
The Trent guy effectively killed me there.
Yeah.
I played like 5 games that have zoo levels in them. This is the best one that I played because the zoo actually has animals in it. All the other ones, they can't like program a bunch of little animals to run around.
Man, not even a meerkat.
Yep. It's a zoo in name only. Actually, Blood Rain had animals, but the animals were insects. Millions of insects.
Was that the second one, I take it?
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah. I've not I finished that game back in the day, and the ending was like, okay, we're going for like big all-out supernatural war. And 15 years later, we're still waiting for it.
Yep.
That is the biggest case of blue balls I've ever seen in any game.
No kidding. You definitely set up a very interesting next game, which has not happened. There is Blood Rain Betrayal. I have no idea whether or not it actually follows the same plot, or what that game is about.
If I remember... You remember there was kind of like mid to late 2000s, there was kind of a thing for 2D platformers with hand-drawn sprite work, where you had to... They were kind of like Devil May Cry in that you had to kill your enemies using lots of combos.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah, I know it's a way forward game.
Yeah, kind of like Shank and games like that.
Right.
But it's kind of an interquel. I believe it takes place... I don't know if it leads into Blood Rain 2, but it definitely takes place before it.
Ooh. The one interesting thing they could have done, they didn't.
Yeah. I think it came out at a point where Majesco was trying to revive the brand, so they didn't want to write themselves into a corner.
That's a waste.
Yeah. Could have been really good, but...
The ape is out, y'all. Freedom. Yeah, speedruns of this game obviously are in like the half-hour range.
Yeah.
But I love this game. It is so fun, so satisfying, so stylish.
Well, of course it's by Devolver.
Yep. None of the horse shit that the entire Hotline Miami series is burdened with. Dragging that mess into oblivion. It's like my favorite level of Hotline Miami at this point is the final level of 2, where you do see that horrible level, but from the perspective of the guy who kills everybody.
Yeah, that's visually and storyline-wise is very cool.
Yep. I mean, storyline-wise, it's just incredibly nihilistic, like all the levels in that game.
Yeah.
Because it's utterly pointless. He kills everybody, he doesn't even know that he's doing it, and then he jumps off a building. For no reason.
He goes off in the Rainbow Bridge to Valhalla.
There is that.
Thing is, as well, it's not until much later that you put all the pieces together and realize what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So when you fight the two-headed swan monster, I was kind of like, hang on a minute, is this what I think it is?
Yep.
I think that you find out that him and the fans all died, like, what, 5 or 6 levels before then?
Yeah, it's a huge distance between their deaths and his.
Yeah, it's like 2/3 of the way through the game you find out that everyone there was, horribly murdered. And then, you actually see it, and then you're like, oh, right, that's what happened.
Yeah. And also Detective Pardo, he kills the one who survives. He kills Tony.
Yeah.
Different cutscene. But when he does that, Tony is clearly surrounded by the corpses of the other fans.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's so much blood, and it's all sprite work, so it can be a bit difficult to make out what's going on.
True, yeah. In fact, that's a huge problem with the story in that game. Is there's a whole subplot with friends of the fans who are like asking favors, and it's interwoven with the Pardo subplot, and Pardo is framing them for murders that he's committing, and none of that reads in the game because it's all so subtle and it's all done with sprite work.
Yeah, I would have been totally happy with a spin-off game just based on the fans, because they were probably some of the more interesting characters.
Interesting, sure. I mean, they're shitty. They're like fans of the serial killer in the first game.
yeah, it's they're interesting, but they're like, Jacket is the coolest person who's ever lived. Let's murder people for shits and giggles like he would.
Yeah, exactly. They're like atrocious people. When I found out what their plot was going to be in the game, which was announced before the release of the game, I was like, I don't even think I want to play this game because the description of these characters is so awful.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Interesting doesn't necessarily mean good.
Yep. That's what you would say for most of the plot of Hotline Miami. It's so nihilistic that this game that has literally no plot at all is more like meaningful and impactful and comprehensible than the Hotline Miami storyline.
Oh, it manages to tell a whole story without any dialogue, and you can understand it fully.
And you like the character, your ape?
Yep, the ape is at every turn is put upon, he's captured, assuming it's the same one. They started
that is headcanon now. One ape, as we just played through.
Escaped from an animal testing lab.
Yep.
Like, if your sympathies aren't with him right there and then, I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding. And for beating the game, we unlocked hard mode. I think beating hard mode unlocks an even harder mode. There's a series of achievements that 0.4% of all players have at the moment. But also, let's see. What's this? Break in. There's an ape in level now.
Oh.
And that level is you break into a testing facility, you rescue another monkey, and then you break out of that same testing facility.
They were just doing victory laps on them.
Basically, yeah. But that level is preposterously difficult. Much, much harder than all the other ones we just saw. Because you basically have to play it twice in one life. Yeah. And considering how badly I just did with the rest of the game, I'll spare ya.
So when you do rescue the other ape, does it mean that you, Does it follow behind you? Is it an escort mission?
The other ape is a tiny little monkey who wraps his arms around your neck and is carried on your back to safety.
That's just fucking adorable.
It really is.
Monkey hug!
Yeah, and here's the harder difficulty, and I assume there's a hardest difficulty as well, but I certainly haven't gotten there. I may never get there, because I'm not good at this game. As much as I enjoy it. It's probably my favorite Hotline Miami-like.
Imagine to get through the entire thing in one sitting, that's nothing to sniff at.
That would be a real thing. Which, like I said, at most 0.4% of all players are capable of doing that. At least according to Steam's statistics.
Yeah.
So that's Ape Out. I guess that's all we're gonna play of it. I guess if you're watching this VOD on YouTube, visit us over on Twitch. Why not? There's already like 8 hours of exclusive content over here that I'm not porting over to the YouTube channel, and there will be much, much more. Plus, you can watch it live. We have one person in chat right now who can attest that that is a good time.
Come over. We'll have a few laughs. We'll have a few drinks.
Yep. All sorts
You'll
of
need to
casual,
supply your own.
Casual
Super
good times
cash.
we had. There he is.
Just sitting around, smoking jackets, pipe. You know, it's cool. It's cool.
Yep, I did a full playthrough of the video game Web that you can check out, and a bunch of roguelike playthroughs just for fun. Speaking of which, you want to keep hanging out, Static? Maybe we'll take a short break and then play some roguelikes?
Sure.
Sounds fun to me.
Ooh.
And, given your consent, we will take that short break and see you in a moment. And hey, we even got another chatter. Welcome. Stick around for the roguelikes.
You came in at the best, most inopportune moment.
See you soon.
Stick around.